Hello all and welcome back. Today's short lesson, pre-spring break lesson. How exciting is that? You get a little break from me. Did this happen last time as soon as I started talking to you guys? The radiators turned on. I hope you can't hear that. Yes, welcome back. I'm going to go over two things. And if you want to know more about the stand-up that I'm calling, stand up, it stands up. It's not a person who's standing up, it's stand up in proportions. Watch that video. It was week 11, part 1. This is the week 11, part 2. This will be short and sweet because a lot of what I'm talking about, and when this was introduced, these ideas, Photoshop was just starting with their AI stuff. And so it becomes a little moot a little bit. It becomes easier and easier now to work with Photoshop when adjusting items because of AI. And it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And I encourage everybody to use that and use it to your advantage. I just opened the no artifacts one for a minute. And just to talk about Photoshop so you can see something and you're not just talking. And I don't have Photoshop examples, but use it. Oh, look at that, helping students out. Don't save. Oh, hold on. Downloads. Let's start with low res. First thing, low res, low quality image. Do not use low quality images. There are so many ways to make sure that your image is high enough res out there. These sites that you see here are great. Please use them, right? They're listed here. If you need images, check them out. A lot of them are free. They're free, but they're limited. But here's the great part. They're all high res. Check them out, play around, find out what's on them. And use them to your best ability. Some maybe, I don't always every year go back and, every semester go back and check everything. But I use Pexels probably the most. And it's free. And they're high resolution images. So you start high res every time you start with an image. Don't you just do an image search. Like the wrong way to do it. And I'll open this up. And then, so if I'm like, sky and cloud images. All right, great. And then I go and I just hit images and I'm like, oh, I like, one. And I'm trying to look right now. Like, I don't want one from a stock company, but they're all stock companies, aren't they? But here, right there, start by clicking on high resolution. And then you can look through and like, oh, a lot of these may need subscriptions, but Pexels doesn't. And then when you click on this is 5,000 by 3,000. This is a great image to start using. Do that proper search. When you look for images, also tools, you can go to size and large and just start there. Don't make sure it's high resolution. Make sure it's large sizes. And like I said, you can go to pexels.com. Again, it's my favorite. I don't know why. I think I was first introduced to it. It's good, not great. But for what you need, oh, these are old. Oh, people eating ice cream. Look at this. This is all searches I did in the past about for other projects. People eating ice cream. Oh, I want people eating ice cream. We get some images. And they're going to be high res. And I think I had to put ice cream, not custard. And then if you use this, and then you can check the sizes, and it's free to use, and you download it, and it's good. It's good to go. Like these are professional, somewhat professional, or people have been doing stuff. They haven't been on the internet and getting lower and lower and lower res. Like we're not looking for thumbnails. We want giant photos to start with. Computers these days can handle that readily, meaning back in the day, if you had a high-res photo, it might slow down your entire system. And you're like, oh, it's, you know, moving around slow. But not these days. These days, you can work high-res on most computers. It's not going to make a problem. Also, how do you use that image within your design? Are you separating out your Photoshop work into Photoshop and your Illustrator work into Illustrator and your InDesign into InDesign, and then combining all three using the best attributes of all three? That's the real beauty, is using these cross-platform programs to use them for the best of the abilities. I never adjust a photo except for some cropping in InDesign or Illustrator. I adjust my photo in Photoshop. That's where you adjust it. If I want to make a change to that photo, it's done in Photoshop, and then I, you know, relink that image into my Illustrator, InDesign document. But that way I know every time I make a change on my photo, if I want, like, if I do this and then I relink it, that's going to show up, and I can delete that or whatever. So going in a couple tangents there about using this stuff correctly. But one, when you start and you want an image, go high res or go home. You know, like, don't start off low res, because high res images also will stay together better. See how pixelated this is? This is purposely really low res. This was done at a print level, but even if you did small size file, this will still look nice and sharp because it's not reducing it any more than it needs to be. So make sure you're always starting with high res files. It's going to make your life easier in the end. So do that when you're working. Now, the other thing is artifacting. Man, Photoshop now has so many ways to remove objects from the background. So here I have a pair of scissors that original. There's the original. Here's a proper cutout onto a dark gray background. Here's an improper cutout. What you see here, this line around it, is called artifacting. We left artifacts of the original image in when we wanted to clip it and paste it. There are a million ways to do this, and a lot of them are now done through AI. You can basically select that and type into that generator and be like, please remove the scissors from the background. And it'll be like, yeah, okay, here, I did it. Start using the AI tools associated with Photoshop to make your life easier and quicker. This used to be, I'd go in there and I'd have to make a path with the pen, you know, outline everything inside out. And then, you know, you could either make that path a clipping mask, and then you bring that clipping mask into something else. And then when you drop in the photo, if the clipping mask needed to be activated, if it wasn't, there was like a ton of things to do. And one of them was cutting out images was like, took forever. And that's, I feel like with Photoshop, the way it's changed in the past 3 years, probably, it has taken all of that out of it. And so now there's no excuse for bad artifacting or bad Photoshop retouching. Is that like, you just ask it to do it and it'll do it. And use that also to your advantage. When you have an image that's not quite right, but you love the image and say, the tips of the scissors are missing, but I really want to use this image. You know, I don't know why. You just ask Photoshop to add those on and play around. It is such a great tool. It is very funny when talking about Photoshop. Is, to me, it's my least used design program, because I'm not doing that much. If I get an image, I use that image. But if I need to adjust that image, I use Photoshop. I don't do typography in Photoshop. I don't do any of that. And it's a rarity I'm doing some sort of crazy neon sign looking thing. But again, I'd use Photoshop with that. There's a lot of great things Photoshop is great for. I think we have to start changing our mindset on what it is great for. But now it's great for everything else. You need to remove something from an image, just circle it, remove that from the image, check it out, done. It used to take an hour 2 hours to remove an image, remove something from a photo. That stuff's now easy, which is very funny because I had lessons based on that in the past. And now I just have to be like, well, open up the AI and then circle the thing you don't want and hit remove object from image. Boom, it's done. So use those to your advantage, make things look better, have that AI in Photoshop really help you out when it comes to making the images you use within your designs even better. It used to be like a little bit of a long side, like you do a design, you're like, in order for this to work, I need 2 more inches of a photo on the left. And I'd just be like, I got to recreate this. How am I going to recreate 2 inches of a photo that's missing? And it would take, it'd take like a day. Now you just be like, whoop, hey, fill this in Photoshop. And it gives you 3 examples. And you're like, this one's the best. Let's do it. So, but you can do it for cutting things out, especially when they're nice and easy like this. So start to use the proper tools so you don't get artifacting. You don't get like weird edges. Like, look how nice this is. This black against the dark gray compared to this. Even if there was like a little white, people are like, why is there white there? Why is there white? Oh, it's cut out. Like, if you've had me for Photoshop, my main goal with Photoshop teaching is people shouldn't know you use Photoshop. If you're layering like images upon images upon images in Photoshop, you hope you're blending them and making them look good and not things are cut out. Like, use the Photoshop generative AI tools to help you out. I would say like the newer books cover off on it in Photoshop. Go to YouTube, use YouTube to help make your photos perfect. There was something, I can't fully remember what it was about. Looking at a student's piece, and there's just something like just off the edge. I'm like, we need that extra little piece. And so you have to do this whole explanation, like just go into Photoshop and ask it to add that extra piece in and then move it over and it'll be fine. But I think we, again, come from that idea of like, I have to do it. We don't have to anymore. The Photoshop AI is awesome. I think it's the best thing for the AI. I don't use the AI for anything else in design. So yeah, double check your stuff. Always high res. Use these guys. Take a screenshot. This is available for you. Try these out. Put them in your bookmarks. And whenever you need images, go there. Check it out and use them. Use high res. Yeah, you're subject to what's out there, but free is free. Maybe it'll change your design a bit, but that might be a good thing. Challenge you a little bit. So make sure you're using high quality images. And when you're doing stuff like cutting out images to show stuff, we don't need to see where it came from. We want to know where it is. So cool. That's all I got for you today. Nice and easy. Watch part 1 for me talking a half an hour about the stand-ups and enjoy your break. I'll be on and off over the break. I'll check and make sure I'm up on things. If there's emergencies and stuff, I'll check, but it might not be every day. So just be wary. Yeah. So there you go. Enjoy a break. Enjoy a couple days where you can set aside and not worry about anything if you're all caught up on stuff. And then we get back, we'll finish up our Dr. Bronner's project, and then we'll move into the final project of the semester. And it's an open one. It's an open one. Not dealing with any other logos, whatever. It's an open one, like similar to the Custard Festival. So awesome. Take care. Enjoy your break. I'll be on the discussion boards. You know how to reach me. Feel free to reach out if you do have questions over the break. I am around to answer your questions. I'm more than happy to. So, all right, cool. Thank you. Bye-bye.